Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me for the monthly market outlook yesterday afternoon. If you missed it or want to re-watch the recording, you can check out the description below. There is a link for that recording. We took a look at a ton of charts here, including some of the big stocks like Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, in addition to other actionable opportunities. So take a look, let me know what you think. All right, taking a look here at the ES in the daily time frame right now. One of the things we mentioned here recently is the narrow 6-day range that had developed. That narrow 6-day range has about 180 to 200 points of energy in it if we get a true breakout. At the moment, we currently, if you go down to the lower time frame, there's a little box here that has developed below the previous week's low. And that's going to be an important level here. If price can push back above 39.50 today, it could open up a surprising little rally back into the range as this thing perhaps bounces a little bit to begin the month. That bounce could be sold for a continuation downward. If there is a failure to push back above 39.50, it could open up further weakness up ahead, likely down toward that 3900 level. That's going to be the next key level down in the short term, with a shot to see a full-on continuation back toward 3800 ahead. So right now, still trending downward. Any pullback could be seen as a selling opportunity as this thing continues to trend downward. A breakout, a true full-on breakout from this 6-day narrow range and a close below it for the day could lead to that continuation of 180 to 200 points to the downside. Taking a look here at the NQ, right here, narrow multi-day range as well. Narrow 6-day range now through the bottom of that range. If you look at the NQ, currently holding within a narrow range below the previous week's low. Back above that 925 level could open up quite a bit of strength here. That could take us back up, surprisingly, within the range, back toward 12K, 12.1, maybe as high as 12.2. But again, given the downtrending price action here, any bounce could be seen as a selling opportunity for a continuation down. Next key level down is going to be about 11.4 with a shot to go all the way across the range back toward 10.6. So downside break from this 6-day narrow range could be significant. If we drop this to 6 days here, you'll see that the potential move here is upwards of 750 points, maybe even as high as 1,000 points of range could be seen out of this narrow 6-day range here. If we break down and stay below this range to end the day here, we could be looking at a push that takes us somewhere between 700, 800 points downward. All right, let's take a look at the crude oil chart here. If you take a look at crude oil, you'll notice that crude oil is right back at the center of the larger range here, 78. The upper end of the range between 82 and 83. The lower end of the range around 70 to 72. Recently here, we started to push higher within the range. The previous month's close is right near the midpoint of last month's range, which means taking a bid to begin the month opens up a push to the upper end of last month's range. That takes you right into the 80.5 level. 80.5 is also the previous quarter and the previous year's close, so that could be a good sticky magnet here for the upside. So right now we are near the center of the range, but we're currently working higher within that range. If price can continue to push through 78s here, it opens up quite a bit of upside that could be ahead. The problem with trading around the midpoint of this range is that we could chop a little bit more before we make that move. But currently, the flow is to the upside in the near term. If we take a look at gold futures, this one right now has been on a downward path for quite a while. We finally saw a little bit of a bounce here that played out over the last couple of days. Is this enough to get things going to the upside? Or will we see strength lead to another round of weakness? The key level is still 1830. That's been the key level for the last year plus. Price rallied away from it, came back to it, dropped just below it, then was able to recover here. So again, right now, the downtrend is still in play. Can this thing make more of a move to the upside, or will this strength be sold for another round of weakness? Continue to watch gold here off the 1830 key level. Lastly, looking at the YM, this one has had quite a bit of directional bias to the downside here recently, is sitting on significant support. That 32.6 level right here goes back like this, and we've seen price bounce off that level multiple times. The recent reaction here at 34,500 led to a push right down to 32,500. That's a nice 2,000 point move in a couple of weeks. We now have a kind of a narrow range that's developed on these lows, but it's trying to hold this edge. If it can hold this edge, we might actually get a little bit of a bounce and a return back within the range and stay in this range. The thing to watch here is if we do see a bounce, given the lower value relationship, will we see again an ability for bears to defend that for a lower high and a continuation down. So 32.6 still the key level, holding it barely right now and staying within the range from a broader perspective, but a failure to hold that level could open up quite a bit of downside up ahead. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.